You know that special quiet bond you have with your cat? It's really something else. And of course, we all want them to be as happy and healthy as possible. So today, we're going to explore 5 really simple habits that can make a huge difference in their world. Let's get into it.
I love this question because it really makes you think, doesn't it? We get so caught up in thinking we need to buy the fanciest toys or the most expensive gadgets to show our cats we love them. But what if? What if the biggest improvements come from the small stuff, the consistent little acts of attention that really connect with who they are as a creature?
And honestly, that's the best part. The habits we're going to talk about today, they don't cost a thing. They're easy, and you can literally start doing them the second this is over. This is all about deepening that incredible connection you already have, starting right now. Okay, first up, the 5-minute daily hunt. Now, this is so much more than just tossing a toy mouse across the room. For a cat, play is serious business. It taps right into their most basic, fundamental instinct as a hunter. You know, it's not just for fun, it's a core part of what makes a cat a cat. And this is absolutely crucial for their mental health. All the research tells us that this kind of stimulation, the mental and the physical, is what keeps them from getting bored and stressed out, which can lead to all sorts of behavioral problems. A good play session is like a workout for their body and their brain. It keeps them sharp, agile, and happy. So to make playtime really count, you've got to start thinking like a cat. Their hunting instinct follows this really specific pattern. First, they stalk their prey. Then they chase it. They get ready and they pounce. And now listen, this last part is everything. They have to make the catch. That final step is the payoff. It's the moment that tells their brain, job done. I'm a successful hunter. And this brings us to a super common mistake we all make. We love laser pointers, right? They're so easy. But think about it from your cat's perspective. Chasing that little red dot that they can never, ever, ever catch, it can actually be really frustrating and even create anxiety. It leaves that hunting sequence totally unfinished. But a wand toy, with feathers or a little mouse on the end, that they can catch. They can grab it, bite it, and defeat it. That's what builds their confidence and gives them that deep instinctual satisfaction. All right, so from that high-energy hunt, let's slow things down for our second habit. This one is much quieter, but it's just as important. It's about using those gentle petting sessions, not just for cuddles, but as a way to quietly check in on their physical health, all while making your bond even stronger. And here's why this is so critical. Cats are just wired to hide any sign of weakness or pain. It's a survival instinct that's baked right into their DNA. So, as this quote points out, doing a regular, gentle, hands-on check is so important because you are their first line of defense. You're the one who's going to notice if something feels a little different long before it becomes a big problem. So, a really great place to start is with their ribs. Vets have a system called a body condition score, and this is a simple way you can do a mini version at home. Just gently run your hands along their sides. You should be able to feel their ribs pretty easily, kind of like feeling the knuckles on the back of your hand. If you have to press hard to find them, they might be carrying a little extra weight. And beyond the ribs, you can gently feel along their spine and their hip bones. Then, take a look at them from above. You should be able to see a bit of a waist, a little indentation behind the ribs. And from the side, their belly should tuck up slightly. Just making this a normal part of your petting routine helps you learn what's normal for them, so any little changes will stand out right away. Okay, on to habit number 3. This one's about their space, their kingdom. You see, we humans, we pretty much live our lives on a horizontal plane. But for cats, the vertical world is just as real and just as important. The space above the floor has a huge impact on how safe and secure they feel. So what exactly is vertical space? Well, it's pretty much any spot that lets your cat get up off the ground. Think about it from their evolutionary history. Being up high means you can see everything. You can spot predators, you can spot prey, and you can do it all from a safe perch. It gives them this incredible sense of control over their environment, which is a massive stress reliever for them. And here's the best part. You do not need to go out and buy a giant, expensive cat tree. Creating vertical space can be as simple as clearing a spot on a sturdy bookshelf, or maybe putting a soft blanket on top of a dresser. Even the back of the couch can be the perfect lookout post. It's all about starting to see your home through their eyes and finding those little elevated sanctuaries for them. Let's move on to our 4th habit, and this one is so important for their long-term health: hydration. Getting enough water is absolutely vital for a cat's kidneys and urinary health, but honestly, it's an area where their own biology can sometimes work against them.
Okay, get ready for this number. For an average 10-pound cat, they should be getting about a cup of water every single day. That surprises a lot of people, right? It really puts into perspective just how important it is for us to help them and encourage them to drink.
So, why is this even an issue? Well, it all goes back to their wild ancestors. They were desert hunters, and they got most of the water they needed directly from the prey they ate. That means our modern house cats have inherited a naturally low thirst drive. So, if they're eating a diet of only dry food, they often just don't feel thirsty enough to drink the amount of water they actually need. Thankfully, there are some really easy ways to help. You can just add a splash of warm water to their kibble to make a little gravy. Try using a wider, shallower bowl. Sometimes their sensitive whiskers can touch the sides of a deep bowl, and they don't like that feeling. And a lot of cats are fascinated by moving water, so a simple pet fountain can make drinking way more interesting for them.
And that brings us to our fifth and final habit. This one is about the invisible architecture of their day, routine. For a cat, predictability isn't boring at all. It's a huge source of emotional comfort. It makes them feel safe. This quote really nails it. A consistent routine does two amazing things. First, it makes your cat feel secure because they know what's coming next. But second, it gives you a really clear baseline for their normal behavior. So when that routine suddenly changes, like if they don't show up for breakfast or they stop waiting for you by the door, that's often the very first sign that something might be off. So what does routine actually mean to a cat? Well, it's knowing that breakfast is coming at 7 a.m. sharp. It's that playtime they know is going to happen right after you get home from work. It's even just knowing you'll be on the couch every evening for cuddles. These moments are the anchors that make their whole world feel safe and sound.
So we've gone through a lot, right? Playtime, body check-ins, vertical space, hydration, and the comfort of routine. It might feel like a lot to take in, but please hear me on this. The goal is not to be a perfect cat parent overnight. This is really the most important thing to remember. Don't feel overwhelmed like you have to do all of these things tomorrow. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. Just pick one small thing that feels doable for you and your cat and start there. Every tiny positive change you make is a wonderful gift to them. And so, what's your next small step? For that cat purring next to you, which one of these little habits are you going to try out today? Maybe it's just 5 extra minutes with the wand toy, or maybe it's clearing off that sunny spot on the bookshelf you know they'd love. We would genuinely love to hear about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.